Let's next move on to Representative Maldonado's bill. Could I ask the representative to come up along with John Williamson from the Freedman Center for Justice and a representative, Walter Craddock from the Department of Motor Vehicles will be here as well in case we have any questions. Representative?
Chairman, is it possible to have Matt Wilton from the Department of Labor and Training as well, just so we can
Sure, if Matt
answer the
wants to join the group.
Sure.
He's got a chair.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, members of the committee. This particular legislation relates to a very serious issue that requires our state General Assembly to act. In recent decisions nationally, the current administration has moved to end DACA, leaving so many of our Rhode Island DACA recipients in immigration limbo. Under the DACA program, any child brought into the country before the age of 16 could have applied for a work authorization permit and driver's license without fare. Unfortunately, due to the cancellation of the program, individuals like Sergio Perez Carrillo cannot renew his driver's license or work authorization permit once they expire. Sergio is a student at the Rhode Island College who is working 2 jobs to pay for his college tuition. He was brought into this country between the ages of 3 and 5, leaving his grandfather and family members behind, never thinking it would be the last time. There are so many young professional people like Sergio who are protected under the DACA program and who have experienced these similar challenges. That is why it is important and necessary for our General Assembly to address this issue at hand. The piece of legislation will address 2 particular areas. The bill is intended to maintain the status quo for Rhode Island DACA recipients, ability to renew their driver's license once they expire. The second portion of the bill will also allow DACA recipients to renew their work limited authorization permits. In the legislation itself, it does indicate that the license cannot be used for federal use or for voting purposes. Overall, it is not right for our society to leave hundreds of DACA recipients who have been productive members of our society to defend themselves. I understand that there were some concerns and issues that have been raised, and we are taking a deeper look into certain particular portions of the bill, and I am open to working with you all to strengthen the policy. I do have the Department of DLT and DMV here present as well to help assist in any questions we can provide for you, or answer any of the questions we can. Thank you very much, Sharon.
Thank you, Representative. Are there any questions for the sponsor? Yes, Vice Chair.
Just briefly, first of all, I want to congratulate you on taking this problem in hand and really seriously working on it. What about the DACA student or worker who hadn't had a driver's license but now wishes to get one? I think you only speak about renewing a driver's license. Could they apply for a new one?
So if you have a work authorization permit, you could apply for a driver's license in Rhode Island. If you do not have a work authorization permit or a driver's license, because you wouldn't be able to have a license without the work authorization permit, you could not tap into this. The policy does not address that particular group.
Thank you.
Anything further for the sponsor? Okay, would any of you gentlemen like to add anything while you have the microphone?
Walter Craddock, Administrator for the DMV. I've applied a letter of support for this legislation, and I understand the governor has as well. Our role at the DMV is to ensure our roads are safe, and we believe this will continue to allow us to issue the proper credentials to allow these individuals to renew their licenses so that they are on the road appropriately if DACA is canceled at the federal level.
Thank you, Walter. Any questions? Yes, Representative Price.
will this allow them to register vehicles?
Yes,
So
it
they
will.
be- And,
Register a vehicle currently.
oh, they can?
Yes.
So they have to fall under, so they have to have confirmed documentation of insurance and
That's correct.
all that to abide by the Rhode Island law?
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
Matt?
Chairman, thank you. Matt Weldon, Assistant Director, Department of Labor and Training. Just here on behalf of the department and the Raimondo administration to offer our support for this bill, to thank Representative Maldonado for her leadership, and to let you know that we understand the limitations around the work authorizations, but we think it would provide a level of assurance to those people that live in our communities and work in our communities, to let them know that the state of Rhode Island, even if this program is canceled, will still honor that authorization.
Thank you, Matt. John?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very, very briefly, my name is John Williamson Friedman. I'm the Deputy Director of the Rhode Island Center for Justice. We'd like to thank Representative Maldonado and the other sponsors of the legislation for their leadership in addressing this issue. We believe that the legislation presents a critically important goal, which is providing stability to Rhode Island's DACA recipients at a time that they face massive uncertainty and instability in their lives. I think you'll hear from some very compelling individuals that will really demonstrate that these are members of our communities, their neighbors, friends, and family members. And this legislation is an important step in supporting them. And I would just add that we look forward to working with the sponsors and with other stakeholders to address any issues that might arise or be heard tonight, particularly around work permits and any other additional phrasings or technical amendments for the driver's license, and we certainly look forward to addressing those. Thank you.
Okay, John, any questions for this panel?